chairs with me. Cheer up, Charlie. And today we have the amazing, the wonderful. He had a party in Avita. He rocked out in Rock of Ages, and he became very modern. And we all found out that he really is an American idiot. He's Lucas Rush, everybody!
That was the best intro I've ever had ever. That was awesome. Ah, thanks, Charlie.
Thank you so much for enjoying it. So if you're ready, I'll get right into the questions.
Do it. Go.
So I performed on the stage for the first time at the grand old age of 5, singing the most epic rendition of "Oh, I Just Can't Wait to Be King." What age did you discover you loved to perform?
Well, you started before me, actually. I was 7. Was I set? Was I actually? Yeah, I was 7. My auntie bought me a tape cassette recording of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat with Lindsay Haitley and Jason Donovan, and I was obsessed with it. And I mean, I think from then on, that was it. I wanted to do musical theatre, and then my mum surprised me one day and took me to see it. I was 7 years old. She took me to see it, and I just went back to see Lindsay Haitley the other day, and I cried the whole way through Act 1 because it was at the London Palladium where I was when I was 7 years old, where it all started. The music started, and I was gone. I was gone. Cried the whole way through it. But my first time on stage was later. I think around that time. So I think I was about 7, and I was a choir boy in Tosca, the opera. At the Hackney Empire, and then Peter Pan, I was Michael Darling in the Hackney Empire as well.
So you were lucky enough to train at the fabulous Italia Conti. How important do you think it is for people to have professional training, or do you think raw talent is enough?
That's a really good question, actually. I mean, I wouldn't say it's imperative that you have training. I mean, obviously it helps. It really helped me. The great thing about Italia Conti as well is that we were able to go off and work. So there's lots of schools that when you're training, you're not allowed to go and work. You have to your training, and that's it. Conti's was great in that part of your course. Like we did the Harry Potter film, we were all extras in that. I was at the RSC. I did Les Mis. You know, I was always off for auditions and things, and like filming little bits and pieces here and there, adverts, and I think that was wonderful. But again, it's not imperative. Like, I think I know a lot of people in this industry who never had any training, and they are doing really well. Who springs to mind? John Boyden. I remember doing We Will Rock You with him, and that he just stands out. I mean, he was playing Galileo, and he never had training ever, and he was, you know, the lead in We Will Rock You, so at the Dominion Theatre. So yeah, it helps, obviously, but it's not imperative.
No.
Great, you know, you get to go to great fun.
Yeah. So I have 2 parents who know nothing about the industry, but are so supportive and help me daily. Was this the same for you? Were they really supportive from the start, or did they ever want you to move into a career away from the arts?
Well, 2 completely different stories. My dad sort of, he'd kill me for saying this now because he's changed his outlook a little bit. But back in the day, he's very like manly and wah, 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 wah. And I was at school doing ballet and stuff, and he used to take the mick out of me for doing that. Oh, you're doing ballet. Oh, why don't you play rugby like real men? He lives in Switzerland. His outlook has changed now. You know, he's updated his settings a little bit.
He's gone through that big software update.
Yes. Had the big reboot. But my mum, on the other hand, who I spent most of the time with, because my dad lives in Switzerland. My mum, thankfully, love you, Dad. But my mum was very supportive from the word go. I mean, she pushed me, but only because she knew that I wanted to do it. She wasn't a pushy mum. If at any point I'd have said, actually, I don't want to do this, then she wouldn't have pushed me the way she did. But yeah, she was great. My mum and my auntie Carrie were both wonderful.
That sounds just like my mum.
Good. Lucky you.
Just like my mum. So what was your first big break as an adult? As I know you're a working child, including RSC, Les Mis, and Peter Pan.
Yeah, I guess big break is a strange term. I don't know if
Yeah,
such a thing as a big break anymore, really. I mean, because you can have a big break and then never work again, you know.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. There've been, do you know what? There've been so many times in my life where I've had that wonderful phone call. Don't get me wrong, I've had the bad phone call a lot more, and that's just part of it. It's like
Haven't we all?
yeah, it's like 10 to 1. So,
Yeah.
um, I've there's been a couple. I think American Idiot was a dream come true. Getting that phone call was amazing. Jesus Christ Superstar was mind blowing. I didn't ever think I would be understudying Tim Minchin in an arena tour. That was like incredible. But as a kid, do you know what? As a kid, getting Les Mis, I think was, and the RSC thing. I used to go and watch Shakespeare plays at the Barbican. And I used to go and stand at the front of the theatre and look up at the auditorium and think, I'm going to be on this stage one day. And then within a couple of years, I was on that stage at the RSC. So it just shows if you put your mind to something, you can achieve it.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I've had a few. I've had a few of those lovely big break moments, even though not really had a big break yet. I'm still waiting.
So you've played some incredible roles that are complete opposite, Lily in Rock of Ages, and then you played Mrs. Mears in Thoroughly Modern Millie, as well as American Idiot. How hard was it to switch between playing such diverse roles?
To be honest with you, I think that's kind of what I mean, everyone has their sort of selling points. That's kind of what I do. I get really, really, really into characters, and for the sort of sacrificing my own personality for a long time, I think. I didn't really know who I was for a very long time because I was always playing different characters and sort of becoming them. As I've grown older, I've discovered who I am, which is lovely.
Yeah.
And now I still have that sort of skill, I think, to fully immerse myself in the character. So I wouldn't say it's difficult. It's something I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love doing it, but I do kind of go all out with characters. I find that characters sort of seep into my real life. I find that I start laughing like characters that I'm playing, or I mean, in American Idiot, when I lived with a mohawk for like 2 years of my life, like I was a punk for 2 years, and you cannot help but if you look like that, you cannot help but start to feel like that, you know? So yeah, hope that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. So, what's your most memorable moment to date?
On stage,
Yeah.
I would say there was a moment at the Manchester Palace theatre, and it was I was the resident director and I was in American Idiot. Now, just to give you a little bit of backstory to this, I was obsessed with Green Day when I was a teenager. So, and I always used to listen to Green Day and think, God, this would make the best musical. Their music is so theatrical; it would make the best musical. And then they made a musical, and I wasn't in it, and I was gutted because it was in America. So I never listened to the Broadway album because I was so annoyed that I wasn't a part of it. And then it came to London, and Raki Plews, who has ended up being one of my best friends in the world ever, was directing it, and I auditioned for it and I got it. And there was a moment, and I ended up being the resident director on it as well. And there was a moment in the Manchester Palace Theatre. It was a Saturday night. I was stood at the front of the stage as St. Jimmy, this character that I had in my head for years, imagined as a theatrical character, and there I was at the Manchester Opera House, a full auditorium standing as that character, and I will never forget the feeling. It was the most wonderful sort of confirmation that if you put your mind to something, you can get it.
Mhm.
I went into the dressing room and just burst out crying and was like, ah, I love you, universe. Thank you. That one really stands out to me. I've had a few moments like that, but that was a big one.
Yeah. So, do you prefer to be on stage, TV, or as a resident director? Which I assume means you're also quite bossy.
Yeah, I think lots of cast members would agree with that. Oh, I have been very bossy. I look back and cringe a little bit. I'll be honest. I did love the resident directing, but it was so lovely after being resident director on American Idiot and then resident director on Thoroughly Modern Millie to go to not resident directing on Rock of Ages and Evita was lovely. So I think I'm gonna park resident directing for a little while, and we're just gonna stick to performing for now. But who knows in the future? I love I love film and TV. It's quite difficult to get into film and TV if you've got a CV that's full of musical theatre. But actually, that's where my original training was. I trained initially in acting for TV and film, so I do feel like I've got more boxes to tick on that front. I'll get there. Like I say, if you put your mind to it, you'll get there.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like the feeling of being on stage. There's nothing.
Yeah.
A wonderful feeling.
Yeah, so my journey into the spotlight happened very quickly when #CheerUpCharlie was born due to the bullying I received for my love of dance and song, particularly because I don't fit the stereotype of what a boy should do. And I'm very lucky to have a voice for so many now, but daily we see so much negativity around who we are, who we love, and unfortunately the color of our skin. Do you think this is something that we are ever going to be able to get rid of, or are my generation going to suffer just the same?
No, your generation is definitely changing things. I can see it already. There's people are talking about it a lot more. I mean, you know, I'm a white person, so I feel weird talking about race. It's not really you know, I of course people are talking about it a lot more, but I feel like I've just started listening a lot more, and I think it's wonderful the way things are moving. I hope they keep moving in that way. It looks like they will. With regards to, gender and stuff, people are finally, that's another thing that's going to take a long time. Look how long it took for people to be able to get married of the same sex, and people are, I'm surprised actually at how quickly people are coming around to the gender idea. I know there's still a lot of negativity, but that gender fluidity, I don't identify as fully male. I'm still discovering my own sort of where I am on the spectrum, and I wouldn't have been able to do that 10 years ago. So I definitely think things are changing, and I think your generation, from what I can see, I've heard people in shops. I've heard people of your age in shops saying, "But mum, why do I have to wear? Why can't I wear a skirt? Why can't I wear? Why do I have to look in the boys section?
Oh,
Wonderful! It's wonderful. Finally, I think you guys are going to teach us a lot. I really do.
like literally, one of my favorite shops to shop in is M&S and Zara. Now Zara has a really nice boy range, and a lot of its girl range is nice too. But M&S, the boys range in M&S is literally, there's probably a couple of nice tops, but mostly it's just black, blue, grey, brown, black, blue, grey, brown, skateboards, football, gaming, PS4, Xbox. And then I go into the girls section and it's also bright, colourful, unicorns, flowers, there's everything. And it's so, like, I have a really nice Snoopy top upstairs, and literally it's a jumper, a long jumper, and literally on it says it's Snoopy hugging his yellow little friend, and on the back of it says it's cool to be kind, and it's bright pink, but it was from the girls section because it was bright pink.
Why?
And before this interview, I was wearing a Space Jam jumper. of the new Space Jam that's just been released, because I watched it and it's really good. And M&S have made a new Space Jam range. By the way, M&S is not sponsoring my video. If anyone wants to know, I wish to work. M&S, if you're watching, hook me up, sponsor me. Come on. But no, currently M&S are unfortunately not sponsoring with this video. Just a little disclaimer. But literally, they have a really nice Space Jam shop, and it's a Toon Squad on it, and it's a picture of the Looney Tunes. And you want to know why I think it was in the girls section? Because on here they had rainbow shiny stitches.
Right. You see, and I don't even know why we have boys and girls sections. If I'm
No.
honest. I don't think we need them. Like, clothes are clothes.
Yeah.
Just yeah. No, it's
Yeah,
brilliant.
literally.
Keep teaching us, please, your generation.
Yeah. So, have you ever suffered any form of bullying, either as a child or in the industry?
Yes, I have. I was bullied as I was bullied when I was about 8 or 9. 8 or 9. Quite badly. And looking back now, I realized it was jealousy, because I was getting a lot of attention for because I discovered my love of musical theatre, and I was in quite a rough school back then. And I obviously got a lot of attention from the teachers and stuff, because it was quite unusual in for a kid of that age to be so into something. So yeah, so I got a lot of attention from the teachers and adults, and other kids didn't like it, and I got bullied. I didn't realize at the time that that's why it was. It's only looking back now. And it was horrible at the time. I do remember it being really, really horrible. I'll never forget the anxiety I felt. I didn't know what anxiety was back then, really, but I look back now and realize that's what it was. But it did shape me. I was very lucky, though. Not everyone is in the position where they have a wonderful mum like I have, and like you have. And so I'm very grateful to them. They moved me out of that school, and I ended up going to a stage school, and things worked out for the better, and it did shape me. I'll be honest, I was quite scared of being bullied in my next school. So I look back now and realize that perhaps I wasn't the nicest to other kids, because it was a defense mechanism, and I didn't want to be bullied again. So I've since been in touch with these people and apologized for it. Luckily they said, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about," but I felt bad. I look back and go, "Oh, I was a bit of a bully to them." And it's amazing how that chain can happen, you know. So I think it's important to own that.
Yeah.
And yes, there have been people who have tried to bully me. Since then, in the industry, there's been quite a few occasions when people have tried to bully me, but they don't get very far, because I can spot it a mile off now. And one of the main things that bullies are able to do is bully under the radar, so no one else sees it. I, like I said, spot it a mile off, and my bully radar goes off immediately, and I don't accept it. Also, with other people, I've seen it. I've seen people bully friends of mine. Yeah, it's always there. It's always there. You've just got to be strong.
Yeah, definitely. So, what is the most interesting thing you have read or heard about yourself?
What is the most? Oh, that's a good one. Most interesting thing I've read about myself. I mean, people don't really write that much about me. People don't really write that much about me. I've had some very bad reviews. I had a very bad review. I'll tell you that one afterwards. No, I'll tell you this one first. I had a really bad review in Saturday Night Fever, and I was absolutely devastated. Said I had no stage presence and no charisma, and I was absolutely. How dare they? And then the other thing, when I was younger, there was an article. This is when I first learned about media, papers making stuff up. I did a local Hackney Gazette interview because, like I said, our school were the extras in Harry Potter, and it said Lucas Rush set to star in Harry Potter movie, which wasn't true. I was like extra number 3047 in the background, but apparently I was to star in the next movie. So yeah, newspapers make.
Oh yes, I've learned about papers making stuff up. So
Yeah.
I did a local interview when all that thing happened with Priti Patel, and apparently according to that newspaper, um, social anti-bullying influencer and campaigner Charlie Kristensen says Priti Patel has set a bad example. Not even close to what I said. Not even close.
I believe you. I believe you. And until you've experienced that feeling, you don't realize, do you, how much they make stuff up. And I've worked with quite a few, celebs who are at the time I've been working with them have been quite hot in the tabloids, and they'd come into work sometimes and be like, "What on earth? Where on earth have they made this stuff up from? Like, what is this nonsense?" So yeah.
That newspaper always, whenever I do stuff, always publishes stuff about it. The first time they interviewed me, the second time they interviewed me, the third time they put something out and alerted me, and then there were 3 more times after that that they've literally put stuff out and not even told us that they've put it out, so I can't even get it and read what they've put out about me. So 3 times they put it out and I have no clue what they've actually written.
Yeah, get used to it.
Yeah. Oh, and although saying that no one writes about you, I saw that online when I was researching about you, I saw that you can that there's a stage faves of Lucas Rush, and you can buy merchandise saying Lucas Rush is my hashtag stage fave. You can buy T-shirts, hoodies, caps.
That's
Awesome.
cool. I might buy some for myself.
It's Stage Faves is a website, and it always comes up whenever I research like big names in the industry. And literally, it always says like this person is my hashtag Stage Faves.
Amazing! I love it.
And there was a Lucas Rush one, and it
Myself.
showed your recent Twitter activity.
Oh no! Oh yeah, be careful with Twitter. Sometimes I look back on my tweets and I'm like, why did I say that? So yeah.
So, if you could give yourself some advice as a child, knowing what you know now as an adult, what would it be? Would you actually pay any attention to it?
What do you mean? If I was
If you were a child, would you actually pay attention to what future you said?
I mean, if future me came back from the future and was able to prove that it was future me, I would definitely listen to them because that'd be quite cool. I would say to so many things, but I think the main thing I would say is don't be afraid of being yourself. Like when you discover who you are, don't be afraid of being yourself and being weird and being different and being unique, because those are the things. I know it's cliche and we hear them all the time, but it's true. Those are the things that may not seem cool when you're younger, and people may bully you when you're younger for being different and being weird, but actually those are the things that make you really cool. And when you're old now I'm older and I look back and go, I wish I'd just been a bit weirder, because I always felt a bit weird, and I wish I'd just not tried to fit in with the cool kids and all of that. You know, none of that matters. None of that matters. Just be yourself, be weird, be different. If you want to wear a dress and you're a boy, wear a dress. Like, wear makeup, be yourself, be proud, be strong. And yeah, I wish future me had come back and said that as a kid.
Yeah. So now for some funny questions.
Okay.
These are my favourites. So, what's your most useless talent? Mine is burping the alphabet.
That's pretty useless and pretty impressive. Mine is probably this.
Oh, is that wiggling your head or wiggling your ears?
It's wiggling my head, but I think my ears move a little bit
I can
anyway.
do this.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
That's my
And
head
also
and my ears at the same time.
that's cool and useless. Yes. Well done.
That's also very useless. Just like you. Not just like no. No, that came out wrong. Just like yours, I meant to say. I'm so sorry. I meant just like yours.
Oh, I love that.
I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. So, what do you get most in trouble for doing, other than telling the people you're interviewing that they're useless? Because I love to talk and ask questions that people have no answers for. Drives my mum crazy, as I do it all the time to her.
What do I get in trouble most for? Oh, lots of things, but I lose everything I touch. I lose everything I touch. So I've gotten better. I have gotten a little bit better. I have an app on my phone now that is attached to my keys, is attached to my wallet, is attached to my passport, and I can like call all of those things all the time. But yeah, I lose
What
everything.
happens if you lose the phone, though?
Stop it! Stop it! And that does happen. Well, I just have to get someone to call it then, don't I?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, my phone is huge. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a brick now, so for that reason mostly. Um, and I have gotten better. I used to be really bad at timekeeping, but I've discovered in this industry that that's not an option. So I'm now really good at timekeeping.
Awesome. Yeah, you're one of the only ones to be the earlier on time for my interviews. A lot of the time, they're actually late. A lot of people.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
It came
And
from
even if they're on time, I think if you're not early, you're late.
Yeah, absolutely. And that came from being on the other side and being a resident director and being like, where is everyone? The warm up started 10 minutes ago. Yeah, so
Yeah. So, what is your most disgusting habit? And there are some really bad ones coming out now, especially of some of the female stars.
my my bad habit. Um oh, I have really manky feet.
Ew.
I have really manky feet and there's like
Ooh.
private stuff and I have to pick them.
Oh.
And I went the
Can
other
I just
week.
ask, what do you do with what you pick off?
Well, I threw it away, obviously.
Oh.
Why? What did you think I'd do?
Like, just put it on the floor, just chuck it on the floor or something. So, have you got any embarrassing moments that you would much rather forget, but no, you never will? There must be some great ones from being on tours.
So many! My life is a series of embarrassing events. You have no idea. My life is literally a series of embarrassing events. I have so
Forget
many.
the series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket. Series of embarrassing events by Lucas Rush.
Rush, absolutely. I honestly, when I think about, I think I'm not going to be able to think of them now because they hit me in random moments. I'll be walking down the street and I'll suddenly go, oh, oh. I've had so many. I'll tell you one. I'll tell you one that was bad. That's just sprung to my mind now. I was going around a room of. I was being introduced to some people after an American Idiot event, and and they said there were about four or five people in this little circle. I went, hello, nice to meet you. I'm Lucas. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Lucas. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Lucas. Lucas. And the last person said, we've met. And I went, oh, I'm so sorry. And everyone was listening. I went, I'm so sorry. I'm really bad at faces. Sorry. Where did we meet? He went, we went on 2 dates together. That was pretty embarrassing.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's just one of many. That's just one of I have an embarrassing event every day, so you know, I've learned to block them out really quickly. So
Well, I just had one of today's most embarrassing events, calling you useless. I still can't get.
embarrassing. I am useless.
No, you're not.
I'm not.
No, you're not. Do you have a nickname? And if so, how did you get it?
My aunt calls me Tookles, and I've absolutely no idea why. She calls me Tookles. Hello, Tookles Rush. This is your Auntie Carolina calling. That's what she says. I've no idea why, but she even. Do I have it here? No, I don't. My room's a bit of a mess. I have. She even got me a dressing gown that says Tookles Rush on it. So.
I have a nickname. It's not as interesting as that. All my friends, a bunch of my friends call it me. It's just Chase. We all came up with nicknames for each other, and mine was Chase.
Chase, good name. Good name.
Yeah, so that's my nickname. Pretty boring nickname. Just.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one.
So now's for a round of quickfire questions.
Go for it.
Chocolate or Haribo?
Chocolate.
Text or talk?
Talk.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Favorite city?
Cape Town.
Last song downloaded?
Oh God! Last song. Oh, I know this is quickfire, isn't it? Avicii.
You can check if you need to.
Avicii, but I can't remember what the song is. Oh, I can hear it, and I can't remember it. It's an Avicii song.
Favorite place to eat?
Favorite place to eat? Italy.
Just no restaurants, just Italy.
In general, anywhere in Italy. Yeah.
I was about to suggest maybe we can go for food, but I don't think we can go for food in Italy.
No, not at the moment. No, probably not.
No. Well, maybe a different place. Maybe an Italian restaurant.
It's not the same, Charlie. It's not the same. It's not
Okay.
the same.
Favorite superpower?
Oh, favorite superpower? Flying. Flying. Absolutely.
Everyone always says either flying or invisible. It's funny.
Invisible's boring. Flying. If you can fly, just get, like flying. Absolutely.
You can be invisible.
Boring. I mean, if you could.
No,
fly...
I mean you can literally be invisible if you fly.
Exactly. Yeah.
First celebrity crush.
Pacey from Dawson's Creek.
Harry Potter house.
Well, I was in the movie, wasn't I? So I was a Gryffindor in the first one, and then I went back and did the fourth one, and I was a Slytherin.
Favorite Harry Potter character.
I'm
obsessed with Harry Potter.
You've seen The Cursed Child?
Yep. Part 1 and 2.
I would say Scorpius is my favourite character.
Yeah, he's so cool. So, thank you so much for doing this interview, Lucas, because sadly, it's over. Aww. But thank you so much for doing this. It was a pleasure and an honour interviewing you.
It was an honour to be interviewed by you, Charlie. Chase.
Thank you so much, Lucas. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, what an amazing interview. If you want more interviews like that, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Ding, ding, ding. And also, do-do, 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 do-do. Whoa. Do you like it? I think it's really cool. You need to get it when it comes out. Coming out soon. Very soon. All right, so remember, keep being kind to yourself and others, and keep letting your light shine. Bye.